Hey my friends, welcome to this video. Yeah, me and Charlotte are going on a bit of a mission tomorrow in the Hanua forest in southeast Auckland, and we're doing 42 k's, 2,400 meters elevation, so it's going to be a good sort of 6+ hours outing. It's the weekend of what would have been the Hanua Hillbilly, but obviously it was cancelled because of lockdown and the ongoing COVID situation we got going on. So, but we're going to go out and do the course. We'll do part of the course anyway. We're going to do 42 k's of the course. So I just thought it'd be cool to jump on and do a quick video just about what's good to take with you on long bush outings, like where you're going into remote areas for that sort of like 6+ hours, and more self-supported as well. Obviously no aid stations, so it becomes more of a self-supported kind of a mission. So I put together a bit of a list. It's 3 main categories, kind of 5 altogether if you take into account sort of the other, and after your run as well is kind of another category. But the 3 main categories: your nutrition, hydration, safety. So I'll jump into nutrition. Yeah, obviously, like with nutrition, like what you use on your long missions and your outings is kind of personal preference to you. And so ideally, definitely what I would recommend is by the time you got to 6-7 hours of outings into the bush, then you should kind of already know what works for you, as you would have tried it out on shorter distances before progressing to that sort of 6+ hours. So for me anyway, here's a few options of the stuff I like. Yeah, so we're talking nutrition. Cliff Bars is a good one. About 250 odd calories per Cliff Bar. That's pretty good. UCANs is another one I use quite a bit. I find them work well for me as well. And in the gel department, the old Spring Energy gels. I rate them pretty highly too. For me personally, I like to rotate what I do, like in terms of my nutrition and my kind of electrolyte kind of stuff. I like to rotate. I can't survive all day on just one thing, or just gels, or just like liquid calories. I like the kind of rotation of all. It works for me the best. So you're looking at about getting that sort of 200 to 300 calories an hour on average, like for your long missions. So you sort of take that into account when you're work out like what you need. So like this is 250 calories. If I'm going to be out there for 7 hours, then you can do the math based on, like, I haven't done the math, so I'm not going to do it now, but you can like work it out. You can be like, okay, this is 100 calories, these are 150, these are 250. So you can kind of, and then if you have some like liquid hydration or stuff like that, you can kind of like build that into your sort of plan as to what you'll need for the duration of time that you're going to be out there. Okay, so the next thing is like hydration. Like, so for hydration, obviously water is like a #1 thing. So we've made videos on like how much water to drink on like long trail run missions, and I kind of think you're looking on average water, depending on like how much you sweat. I think probably your size as a runner as well, and obviously the climate that you're going into, that you're in, or like the humidity, stuff like that. That's going to affect like your water consumption. But I guess we're talking like sort of New Zealand. I'm looking at roughly 500 mils per hour kind of thing, but you can range, like with your water, can be like 400 to 700 mils kind of thing on average. So water's the key one. This one is like, what do you put in the water? So I really love Tailwind. Tailwind really works well for me. Each one of these has 200 calories, So each sachet of Tailwind, and these are awesome too, because obviously you're carrying them in your pack with you as well, so it's like pretty user friendly in terms of like pouring these into here when you're doing your refill. So they work really well for me. So I'll have like a rotation of like these on. I'll probably use a couple of these tomorrow, and then rotating with my food, and then just water on its own and that kind of thing. Also in the hydration, it's sort of the hydration and calorie bucket, the old naughty treat, Coke. So tomorrow we're going out on a bit of a hard effort, so I wouldn't normally drink Coke on like a normal kind of long training run, but say like a race or a high intensity like big mission where I want to like give it like a bit extra, then an old naughty Coke. It's pretty cool. Yeah, obviously it's got like calories, fluid, it's sugar, it's caffeine, like it's gonna get you going. So I don't drink Coke in my normal life or on a daily basis, so save it for race day or big dig deep efforts like this. And so when I do have it, it's like all systems go, you know, I'm off. So it works really well. Other thing I mentioned about water and hydration is obviously like where are you going to get your water from. So if you're doing a self-supported mission, then you need to kind of like work out where you're getting your water from. Is there like taps en route where you're going? Is there like huts and water towers or whatever? Is there water crossings in the river? Is the river good to drink and that kind of stuff? So yeah, obviously for a safety perspective, you need to know like, yeah, where your water is. For us on our mission we're going on, like we know the course, like relatively we know the course, and some of the people we're with know the area quite well. So yeah, we know like all we need is like, all we need to do is carry our 2 soft flasks, and we know there's a lot of river crossings and the water's good for drinking out of these particular rivers, so we'll be fine in terms of like water. Don't need to carry a bladder, which is really good because carrying a bladder is a bit of a pain. You never know how much water you've got in your bladder and it gets all hot and yuck, whereas these you can replenish and it stays like cool, you know. Also kind of in the hydration category, another option in the hydration sort of category is like salt tabs, and I find these pretty good. Again, I wouldn't use them really in like a long training run. Even a 6 or 8 hour like training effort, I wouldn't really use them, like maybe 1 or something, but in a hard effort where I'm looking to go hard, like a race or something like that, then I will like use these on the big efforts. So that's the nutrition and the sort of hydration covered. Next thing that's really important is safety. Like, so what are you doing like to keep yourself safe or the people that you're with safe? Obviously if you're going like into the bush and it's remote, maybe there's different weather systems depending on like the elevation and that kind of thing. Changeable weather, river crossings, you know, like slips, like you can slip and hurt yourself and injure yourself. So yeah, obviously there's like, yeah, quite a bit of like stuff to take into account there. So some ideas around like safety, let's call it like safety and kind of looking after yourself. Number one thing, like if you're going remote, is having a tracker. So this is a Garmin InReach tracker. This is like a satellite communicator. You can send emergency like texts and stuff like that from it, and you share the link with others, and so others can see where you are. And so tomorrow, like there's a number of us out on the course, and Charlotte will be tail ending like a group of us. So she's going to carry this, so then we'll know where the tail end Charlie like is going to be. So that's pretty useful. Other safety stuff is like emergency blanket. So yeah, I mean these are super light, super small. They pop into your hydration pack, no problems. Like it's not a drama having it there. It's a good safety thing. Like if you or somebody else like gets injured and they are no longer able to move and need to wait for like help or whatever, then this is just good for like keeping the person warm. You know, with like a lot of the things you carry for safety, like in your hydration vest, even if it's like, you know, that extra jacket, like that's another thing, like your outer shell or your seam seal jacket, like even if you are like, it's not something that you're gonna like, you know, you're not gonna use, but when you're moving and you're running, but this is something that you will use if you're stationary and stopped, you know. So that's the sort of thing that you're, yeah, just like being aware of. It's like you plan for if you're not moving, and yeah, it can get pretty cold. Like if you've been moving around and then all of a sudden you're not moving anymore, then it can get pretty cold, like pretty quickly, especially if you're like high up, you know. Yeah, that's the main thing. Oh yeah, other thing is like a charger. So there's a little like a battery charger thing. Like again, this is super small. Goes in the vest with everything else, and it's just another little like safeguard thing to make sure like if anyone is kind of like gets stuck and gets a bit stranded, that they're able to like charge their phone, you know. And so I'll carry this as well, because like, you know, tomorrow I'm going to listen to music and stuff as well. And so it's just a nice thing to be able to charge the phone, or to be able to, you know, have that choice to be able to charge the phone. Or like looking after yourself, call it health and safety, whatever you want to call it, is you know, just things like plasters, like bandages, just whatever you need to do to like, you know, look after yourself. I always tape up a couple of tape up a couple of my toes, like where I know where I get like little hot spots and stuff like that on the big runs. So just little things like that. Now for the other category, very important, often forgotten about, toilet roll. Definitely a good idea to take some toilet roll. Again, look how small it is, it's tiny as, it goes on the hydration pack, you don't even know it's there, but it comes in pretty important at times. Make sure you bury it all nice and deep, okay? Make sure you bury it if you use it. Oh, and the other thing that falls into the other category, lube. Lube, make sure you have some lube. Lube yourself up before you go, okay? The last thing really just to mention is for after your run, like, so you know, we're like driving quite a good distance tomorrow, about an hour and a half to get to the trailhead, and obviously an hour and a half back. And so what's really important is after your run that you can like change into like different clothing, you know. And so it's the nicest thing ever. Like if you've been for a run and you're sweaty, either you're hot and sweaty or you've got them wet or whatever, like it's just a real nice thing to like change into fresh clothes afterwards, and then you're nice and comfortable, you're not getting damp. It like minimizes the risk for getting a cold or stuff like that after your run, and you're just nice and warm and comfortable after your run. The other thing to bear in mind to take with you for the end of your run, as well as your clothing, is just that extra like water for afterwards, or like whatever beverage of choice that you might have for after your run to enjoy, maybe with your friends, like a beer or maybe some more Coke in my case. Or maybe a bit of food as well, like, so I always a couple of eggs or something like that, or just whatever you like, a bit of food for afterwards as well. Okay, my friends, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, sing out in the comments below if you have any questions, or share with me some things, some quirky things that you like to take with you on your long missions, or things that I might have left out that are important to you. Feel free to share your knowledge and experience as well, or ask any questions. And if you need any help with anything running, reach out to me and Charlotte. We're here to help. Catch you on the next video. Have a good one.